Sunday, October 13th. The Luftwaffe's raids over London intensify. Central parts of the city have been hit the hardest, and large areas are ablaze and without water or electricity. British planes attacked targets in Germany and occupied Europe. Berlin, the factories of Krupp at Essen, the naval bases at Kiel and Wilhelmshaven, and several ports in northern Europe, from Ostende to Le Havre, are bombed. British citizens leave Romania. The American government puts pressure on the leaders of several Latin American countries to gain permission to establish naval and air bases on their territory. Chile and Brazil are ready to cooperate. In the Mediterranean, Italian and Royal Navy ships clash in the Strait of Sicily. The cruiser HMS Ajax engages 3 Italian destroyers and manages to sink 2 of them and seriously damage the 3rd, the Artiglieri. At the same time, combat planes fight it out in the skies. In Africa, the Italians make advances to the east of Sidi El Barani and fight British troops in the area. Meanwhile, RAF airplanes attack Bardia, Derna, and Tobruk in Libya, while the Italians bomb the airfield at Wajir in Kenya and El Daba in Egypt. In the submarine war, U-103, commanded by Victor Schutze, sinks the British merchant ship Nora, and U-37, captained by Victor O'Hearn, sinks the Stangrint. Monday, October 14th. In Germany, following a meeting of Catholic bishops in Fulda, it is decided that special masses are to be held in all Catholic churches in the Reich to pray for the Führer. Liverpool and London continue to endure heavy bombing by the Luftwaffe. Parts of both cities are in flames. Roosevelt, speaking in Columbus, states that both the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans are essential to U.S. defense. He goes on to say that America is arming to defend itself, not to enter the war. It will support friends as much as possible, but the country does not want to get involved in the war, Roosevelt says. The government of Uruguay declares it will allow the Americans to set up naval and air bases in the country. American citizens leave Japan. Meanwhile, demonstrations take place across the country in support for the imperialistic policy of the Japanese government. Foreign Minister Matsuoka declares in Tokyo that the tripartite pact is of the utmost importance for the 3 countries. I am convinced that Germany and Italy will win the war. In China, the troops of Chiang Kai-shek are resoundingly defeated by the Japanese army southeast of Wuchen. Stalin orders the deployment of more troops in the occupied region of Bessarabia. In the Battle of the Atlantic, U-137, commanded by Herbert Wolfart, torpedoes and sinks the British vessel HMS Cheshire. Tuesday, October 15th. In Rome, Mussolini's war cabinet analyzes the plans for an invasion of Greece, scheduled to take place at the end of the month. He orders his foreign minister to come up with a plausible pretext for the aggression. The Italian leader has decided not to inform Hitler in advance. From his base in northern Europe, Hermann Göring orders his pilots to concentrate their attacks on London, aircraft factories, the industrial areas of Birmingham and Coventry, and fighter aircraft bases. London suffers the heaviest attack of the month. 70,000 incendiary bombs are dropped on the city, causing raging fires. The RAF counterattacks with large-scale bombing raids on Germany, hitting Berlin, the oil and industry facilities of Stettin, Bolin, Rotha, Magdeburg, Lingen, Hanover, and Hamburg. In Parliament, Winston Churchill calls for a huge increase in funds for the war effort. Britain is fighting for survival, he says, and for a prominent place in the world. Charlie Chaplin's film, The Great Dictator, is released in New York. A satire on Hitler and the Nazis, Roosevelt pressured Chaplin to finish the film as soon as possible. It will become an international box office hit. In Spain, the former president of the Catalonian government, Luis Companys, is shot by a firing squad in the Montjuic castle on the orders of Franco. Wednesday, October 16th. Hans Frank, Governor General of German-occupied Poland, sets up the Warsaw Ghetto. All the city's Jews are crowded into an area of 3 square miles to the southwest of the old city. The Germans close all access roads to the ghetto with walls. Within a month, the area will hold more than 500,000 people. London again suffers heavy nighttime bombing, with more than 1,000 tons of incendiary bombs being dropped. The Third Reich's leaders are convinced that the British capital will share the fate of Warsaw, Rotterdam, and Dunkirk. Nonetheless, the RAF pilots are not easily intimidated and strike the naval bases of Kiel and Hamburg. In the United States, 16 million reserve troops enlist in the services in accordance with the draft laws. America is mobilizing its citizens to defend itself, Roosevelt says. In Africa, the British Secretary of State for War, Anthony Eden, arrives in Cairo, where he meets General Archibald Wavell. Meanwhile, the Italians bomb the airfields of Bir el Kenais and the port of Mersa Matruh, 240 kilometers to the west of Alexandria. For their part, the British launch air attacks on Italian positions in Libya between Benghazi and Bardia. In Lashio, in Burma, hundreds of trucks loaded with supplies wait for the opening of the road linking the country with Kunming in China. Thursday, October 17th. There is no let-up in the Luftwaffe attacks on London. The British government organizes thousands of volunteers to keep watch from the rooftops of buildings and report on the types of ordnance dropped and the areas worst hit. The RAF bombs Hamburg, Bremen, and the naval base of Kiel. The government of the Dutch East Indies, modern Indonesia, ignores British pressure and agrees to lease 40% of its oil production to Japan for 6 months. Preparations continue to open the Burma Road to Kunming. The Japanese government considers it a provocation and warns that they will react forcefully. Japanese troops continue their offensive in China along a 300-kilometer front, while their planes bomb Chongqing, the Chinese military and political headquarters. In the Battle of the Atlantic, a U-boat radio outpost at Kerneval Castle, near Lorient, in France, receives a message from U-48 warning that they have located an Allied convoy slowly making its way towards Britain. Several submarines gather to form a wolf pack and head for the convoy, SC-7, which is now sailing off the coast of Ireland and is made up of 35 ships coming from Canada. In the first clashes, U-38, commanded by Heinrich Liebe, sinks the Greek merchant vessel Ainos. U-48, captained by Heinrich Bleidrock, sinks the British vessels Languedoc and Scoresby, and Klaus North's U-93 torpedoes the Norwegian ship Doka and the British ship Uskbridge. Friday, October 18th. U-boats continue to harass the CS-7 convoy. Otto Kretschmer, commander of U-99, once again displays his fighting spirit, sinking 7 merchantmen. 10 other merchant ships are torpedoed by the Wolfpack, and only 7 of the 35 ships that set sail from Canada reach British ports. Meanwhile, the Luftwaffe relentlessly bombs London and different targets in the Midlands and southern England. In the capital, the air raid sirens have been ringing for an average of 11 hours a day over the last few weeks. In September, 6,954 civilians were killed and 10,615 seriously injured. Churchill says London can withstand the bombing, and thousands of volunteer home guards are posted on the city's high rooftops with only a helmet for protection. In the Far East, the road linking Burma and China is opened, and the flow of supplies to Chinese forces fighting the Japanese is resumed. The Japanese have threatened to bomb the road, and now the order is given to attack. The road is full of trucks heading for Chinese cities. In Africa, Italian planes attacked the British positions at the El Daba airfield and the road of Mersa Matruh to Alexandria.